Hello, hello, and welcome to Bla Bla Black Sheep, a weekly yarny podcast where I, Sarah Korth of SEK Handmade, answer your yarny questions. Friends, we're going to do a little different today. I'm calling this one Road Trip Edition. Not because I'm on a road trip now as I record this, but because I will be on a road trip when you see this. So this is like pre-plan and ahead of time craziness. And you know what? I'll tell you the story when we get there. But let's do the usual stuff right now. I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe. Maybe even share with a friend. It would mean the world to me. It helps support the podcast and SEK Handmade in general. Yeah. And comment, you guys. I love seeing your comments and hearing what you're up to. And I'm gonna need some of your feedback a little later. Today I'm going to be wearing my Lumi cowl. This is my non-scrappy version. It is one skein of yarn and then a mini skein set with 5 mini skeins. Y'all, you all. I've been talking to Nikki of Avery Lane Creations, and she's from the South, so y'all. I love a Southern accent. I don't have it though. I have more of a Minnesota accent, if anything. Anyways, so it was one skein, then a 5 skein set. I shared with you all, and then I'm just going to assume that somebody went back and bought the beautiful blue that is the one that was held together throughout, that darker color in the top here. It is stunning, and once I started making this, I was like, I need all of them, and I went back and they were sold out. Which is probably fine, because did I have a plan for them? No, I did not. We have been, I don't know what the weather's going to be like when this actually airs. If it continues the trend of the last few weeks, the Wednesday will be our major temperature drop and snow. We've been like hot, 20 to 30 degree temperature drop and snow, and then warm back up. That's been like our cycle here. It's been crazy town. Today, as I'm recording this, it's supposed to be 60 degrees today. And then we're going to drop tonight to below freezing and get snow. It's crazy town. So I've been wearing my Lumi cowl a bunch because it's a great transition. It can be nice and lightweight, or it can be super cozy. So I've been wearing it for reals like crazy. So I'm just gonna throw it over my head today, and I want the darker purple to be kind of showing off today. So I'm gonna leave that on top. And you know what? I think I'm even gonna fold the top down because I love how that ripple, like, it makes the top straight and then lays that ripple down over the rest of the cowl. It's so fun. I told you what the yarn was, but I didn't tell you who made it. This gorgeous yarn is by Nanette Wake Creations. She is lovely. She's got lots of gorgeous yarn, and then you gotta check out her project bags. I know I shared one ways back, like last year, ways back, because it's gorgeous, and it's the one where she weaves the fabric and then makes it into a project bag. It's amazing. Highly recommend. It's held up really well. I've used it a whole bunch. So there you go. Links to all of the things, the pattern, the introduction video, the yarn will all be down below. So there you go. What is bringing me joy? You guys, I have had a burst of intense productivity, fueled partly by panic. It's fine. But I have been walking and crocheting, and it's just been great. When it is nice outside now, when it's like freezing in snow, I'm not risking slipping and falling while I am working on crochet. But like when it's nice, like today, I'm gonna take my yarn caddy by Lemonwood, pretty sure. I'm gonna take my yarn caddy. I'm gonna put a project on it, a simple project. I'm gonna go out and about, and I'm just gonna walk. This is not an intense walk. It's more of a meander, and crochet. And it just feels great to both move my body and feel like I'm, being kind of productive too. You guys, I gotta do something about this. I have a stand for my phone. It's it doesn't quite fit my phone. And my phone literally just flew out of the stand and fell. I don't know if I'm gonna leave that in or not, partly because I cussed, and partly because I think it might make people nauseous. Anyways, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna crochet. It's gonna be amazing. Just the thought of it is bringing me joy. So, yay. Let's talk some small businesses. I have my Earth Love by Danny mug, my B one. You guys, I'm craving a new handmade mug. If you have a handmade mug maker, I'd love to check out their stuff. So let me know in the comments. I'm wearing more Bealery earrings. These, I think, were the first. I bought 3 of their earrings, and I think this is the first one that I bought. Stop moving. Because I just thought that white and that kind of denim blue. I don't know. I've been told that my neutral color palette is more extensive than most people's. And I consider denim a neutral. And here's the thing, I would argue you also consider denim a neutral because you wear your denim, your jeans, pointing down because I'm wearing jeans. You wear your denim with whatever. You're not like, oh, blue doesn't go with this. You just throw whatever on with your denim. So I thought these would be a great, like, you can wear them with almost anything kind of earring because they've got that kind of denim-y blue. Super impressed with this earring maker. It's a double thickness of leather, maybe not real leather, but it makes the earrings really hold their shape really nicely without being too heavy still. So I really love those. I'm going to mention, we're going to talk other stuff in just a minute, and I'm going to mention some other small businesses, but I'll put those under the questions because, well, they are small businesses. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm waiting at a heightened level of anxiety for my phone to just fly off of the stand again. Okay. Announcements. Who Gives a Scrap is going on. I'd love to see your scrappy projects. It's been so much fun seeing people's scrappy projects. They are gorgeous and amazing. And if you're like, Sarah, I'd love to join in, but I don't like the look of a scrappy project, let me tell you, a couple people are creating their scrappy projects and then donating them because other people will appreciate them. So that's an idea of how to be scrappy without having to wear scrappy, I guess. Second announcement is I am going to go ahead and start a database, I guess, of crochet sample makers. So, what is a sample maker, you might ask? We talked last time about my thoughts and feelings about local yarn shops, and about how, in my opinion, one of the things that would make crocheters feel more welcome at local yarn shops would be having samples of crochet in the yarn shop. And so, but that one of the barriers to that is ability to crochet by local yarn shop owners and time to make crochet samples. So what I would like to do is I would like to put together a resource for local yarn shop owners, maybe even hand dyed yarn people. And I want to connect these people to crocheters who are willing to make an item, crochet an item that would go to the shop and be displayed in the shop so that the shop could have both knit samples and crochet samples. The reason I could see this working with yarn dyers too is because when they go to markets and stuff, it would be nice for them, I would think, to also have knit and crochet so that they can expand their market to knitters and crocheters, and be welcoming to both. So what I have done, I've been thinking about this a lot, and if you have thoughts, I would love to know. You can, comment below. You can reach out to me privately. I'd love to know your thoughts. But I don't want this to be available publicly, if that makes sense. I need enough information from people who are willing to be sample makers so that they can be contacted by the local yarn shop, but I don't just want to put your contact information out there. So I think I am going to make a form for people who want to be sample makers. And what this will allow me to do is then it will automatically put it into a spreadsheet, like a Google Sheets, and then I can privately share that Google Sheets with local yarn shop owners so that they can search out the right person to make samples for them. So I think what I'm going to put on my form is I think I want to put, I haven't made this yet, so if you have more ideas, let me know because I want it to be thorough. Your name, an email address, your location, and the reason you don't need to say your street address, just like I'm in Wisconsin, USA, or I'm in Ontario, Canada, or I'm in Paris, France. I don't know. You don't need to say, like, here's my address, but I think it's helpful that if you're a local yarn shop owner in Colorado, you might want to work with someone in Colorado rather than in Ontario, Canada. You might not. You might say, like, this person's work is amazing enough that I want to work with that person. But for expediency and cost of shipping, I'm thinking close proximity might be something that's beneficial. So I want your general location, not your street address. If you agree to work with a local yarn shop, though, you're going to need to be able to share that information. Okay, and then your preferences, I think, as far as what samples you would like to create. So if you are like, I'm a hats and cowls kind of person, I'm a shawls kind of person, I'm a sweater kind of person, I'm a keep it simple kind of person, I'm a up for anything kind of person, it can give the yarn shops an idea, so that if they want some giant shawl and you're like, I just do hats, there's no sense in them contacting you if you want to do a big shawl. So I think that would be helpful. And then, dang, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I remember. That's like reverberated in my glass light back there. I would love for sample makers to have a place that yarn shop owners can go see their work. So that can be a public social media page. So like if you have a public Instagram where you share your crochet work, you can send people there. If you are on Ravelry, which I highly recommend, and go create some projects, and then you can share your project page. You can share your project page. So those are just some ideas and suggestions. Also, this has gotten into a real tangent, but that's okay. Also, I would recommend maybe that if you really want to do this, maybe create a separate email. Guys, creating emails are free. You can have as many as you want. So just go create a separate email that's like Mary Kay's samples, or I don't know, crochet to the max. I don't know, something. Clearly, I'm not the person you want making your crochet email address. But you can make a separate email address, and then emails about samples will just go there so that you don't have them mixed in with your personal emails about, you know, that cruise line or the airlines and the soap that you like to buy and Old Navy and Target and all the things, you know. So that's my recommendation. If you have questions, let me know. I am certain that I have not thought through everything there is to think through about this. So if you are a local yarn shop owner, I would love to know your 2 cents on like what are some things that would be helpful for you when picking a sample maker. If you are someone who's interested in sample making, I would love to know, you know, what questions you would have. So let me know. Let me know. I'm very excited about that. So, those are my announcements. Questions. If you have a question, I would love if you would ask the question. I want to know what you want to know. Today, we're going to do something a little different. That's why I'm calling this Road Trip Edition. So here's the deal. I'm just going to tell the whole story. Back in December, nope, further back, my parents always went and spent a month in Arizona in the middle of the winter. My brother lives in Phoenix. They would go to Phoenix. It was a great opportunity for them to snowbird and spend some, you know, a chunk of time with my brother, who they don't see as much because he lives very far away. My mom passed away last July. My dad went through like a whole process of I'm not going to go, I am going to go. Come December, when things were like pretty solid that he was going, I pulled my brother and my sister aside and I said, is anybody nervous about Dad driving all that way from Des Moines to Tucson or to Phoenix? And they were like, no, huh? Excuse me. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll see how it goes. So then, come end of January, mid-January, my brother has his medical emergency, and suddenly we're all having to leave for Arizona like immediately. So I got on an airplane and flew down there. And then my sister, who lives right by my dad, he and my sister got in the car, drove down together, and then my dad has just, he essentially extended his trip. I'm like, vacation isn't quite the right word. So he essentially extended his trip. So instead of staying a month, he ended up staying like a month and a half. So we're getting to the end, or when this comes out, it will be the end of his time in Arizona. But when my sister drove down with him, she said, I was wrong. He cannot drive that whole way by himself. And I was like, so you're saying I was right? So, and he agreed to. He was like, I'm so glad that Allison was with me. I didn't fully think through all of the things that go into this. It's not so much the physical driving as the companionship, and like the decision making of where are we going to stop and where are we going to eat lunch, and like if we don't stop at that restaurant, where's the next one, and somebody next to you to like be searching. Anyways, so long story long, I am going. So he stayed in Phoenix, but then his college roommates live in Tucson. So he's taking the last little bit of his trip to go to Tucson and visit his college roommates, which is so fun. So because I have the flexible job and haven't had a medical emergency recently, knock on wood. I feel like I should knock on wood there. Ooh. I am driving. I am flying to Tucson. I have flown at this point. Confusing. To Tucson to meet my dad, and then Dad and I are going to drive back to his house, and then I'm going to fly from his house back to my house. So, big old road trip. I am both nervous and excited. My husband and I lived in Tucson for 8 years when we very first got married. And so I'm going to get to see a friend that I have not seen in a very long time. I'm going to make somebody, I don't know who, take me to my very first local yarn shop. I was so sad. I actually Googled it this morning. And I was like, oh, it's not there anymore. But it is. She just changed the name. I mean, we'll see. It might not even be the same people. Somebody else might have bought her out. But so I'm excited to go back there and like take some pictures. And then my hope is that we're going to just have a fun, silly time driving home. Just, grown-ups. So what I thought would be fun today is to talk about what am I packing to go on my road trip. So I'm going to have airplane time flying from Wisconsin to Tucson. Then I'm going to have like 4 straight days of mostly riding in the car. And then I'm going to have another plane trip from Des Moines to Appleton, back to Wisconsin. So it's been percolating a bunch about what am I going to take, what needs to be done to keep my business moving forward, what should I do just to do, how am I balancing projects that have to be done versus projects that are just like calm and chill. I don't want anything too complicated. Surprise, I've been overthinking it. Which, if you know me, what I'm good at. Okay, so it's a little funny because I am driving and flying. So when I fly, I pack just a little differently because, you can't always bring all the things on the airplane. So here's what I'm taking as far as notions. I'm going to take a twice sheared sheep tin. I have several of these, and I take them everywhere. They're in almost every project bag I have. And what's going to be inside my tin is a few things. I'm going to have a plethora of stitch markers of different shapes and sizes. I don't even know if you can really see that. Shapes and sizes. Trying not to dump them onto the floor. If I'm being real honest, this type of stitch marker is my favorite. The kind with a pretty dangly do and this type of clasp. They're easy to move and remove, and they don't move and remove. And they don't fall off. So love that. I take a tapestry needle in each of my tins. This one, I have found that it brings me joy to thread them through some earrings that I've made but don't wear. So I've tested quite a few earrings from friends. This is from my friend Ashley of Wish Upon a Hook. And so I just thread my tapestry needle through there, and then it's easy to find. And I always open it up and think, oh, that was so fun. That was such a pretty design. Okay, and then I don't take scissors with me because I always worry about them getting taken. In theory, they shouldn't be because you've seen, I don't have a pair close. My craft scissors that fit in my tin are literally like this big. So in theory, they're plenty small and should not get taken, but they're also very sharp and I love them. And so I don't want them to be taken. So this is my solution. This little tool is like a little pendant and you can see the little cutouts. Inside is a blade. And so what you do is you lay the yarn in the cutout across the blade and pull, and it cuts your yarn. And so most people don't even know what this is, let alone that it should be taken. I mean, it's not dangerous. You can't, I suppose if you had long fingernails, you could probably get a fingernail in there and like nick your fingernail, but why would you do that? So it's very safe. It's also inside my tin, so it's not accidentally grabbing any of my yarn. So I'm taking my little notions kit, and then I'm taking my set of tulip hooks. I don't travel with fancy hooks. Oh, and you see that? They've got that little pouch with some notions in it. I'm gonna have to take that out. I definitely don't want to take those scissors with me, though I wouldn't cry if they got taken. So it's just a full set. Some of them are missing because I'm using them in projects. So I'll make sure I have my full set with me so that if I need to change hooks, I can. So those are the notions I'm taking with me. I thought it would also be fun to share with you what projects I've decided to take. Now, because I'm flying part of the time, not all of these projects will be able to come onto the plane with me. I'll be checking a bag, and so some of them will have to go into checked luggage. Does that make you nervous? It makes me a little nervous. So hopefully they'll all make it the full way. So the first thing I'm going to take with me is the thing that needs to be done the most. And I was really hoping to have this project done before I left, but I just don't see how it's going to happen. I think I could sit down and crochet my whole arm off, and I'm not sure I would still get done. So I am making a design for local yarn shop day, and so it'll be free through local yarn shops with purchase of yarn to make it for local yarn shop day. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. I've shown you the yarn that I'm using for this. This is from February Fiber Co. And this is it. It's, I mean, this isn't it, but like a little sneaky peeky. Really fun texture. This is unblocked. I think when I don't think, I know, when I block it, it's all going to stretch out and just be open and gorgeous. And so I'm very excited for that. So I'm going to take this to finish it up, but then I am also, I'm going to be the sample maker for my local yarn shop because I always make two anyways. And so the second sample that I'm going to make is going to be in this gorgeous teal because it coordinates, because I love teal, and because this is a local to me yarn dyer, local-ish. She's a Wisconsin yarn dyer. So this is Pearl Talk, and this is You Soxy Thing. And it is color Lagoon. And so I'm going to cake this up and take it too so that I can get that moving so that we can be ready for local yarn shop day, which is at the end of April. So that's a project I'm definitely taking with me because I need to keep that moving. Okay, back, one of the things I told myself I was going to do this year, because I was just so overwhelmed last year I couldn't manage, was I was going to republish my Knit Crate designs. So I had 3 patterns with Knit Crate. Now that Knit Crate has closed, rights reverted back to me, which I didn't expect to have happen at all. And so I'm remaking samples and changing the format of the pattern over to my format. And so I'm going to take one of those patterns with me. So this is the Senta scarf, for those of you who remember it. It's a nice, open, springy, lightweight scarf. I'm remaking it in Malabrigo, and then I'm remaking it in yarn from a hand dyer. Oh my gosh. Sweet Sparrow. This colorway isn't available yet. Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh, there we go. I kind of had it right. Sweet Pea and Sparrow. And I'm doing a little collaboration with her to show off some of her new colorways. We'll talk more about that when we're closer to it coming out. But I'm going to make it in a Malabrigo and in one of her gorgeous colorways that coordinates so beautifully with the Malabrigo. So these are coming with me. And then I'll have that scarf published soonish. I've already missed one of my dates for republication and pushed it to the end of the year. So you'd think this wouldn't be hard, but for some reason it is being hard. What else do I have here? Oh, I started a new set of classes last weekend, and which will be 2 weekends ago by the time you see this. And I do a class that I call my first crochet hat that fits. And we make a hat that fits, and we talk about why crochet hats are hard to fit. And I use my Astoria hat pattern, which I'm obsessed with. I can't even count how many I've made. 3, 4. I've probably made at least 6 of them. I'm making another one. And I've decided I need an Astoria cozy, an Astoria cowl to complete the tiered system. I real quick whipped up the cozy last night, but I'm going to take the cowl with me. My plan is to get them the littlest bit started, because once I've got the first couple rows, it's just going to fly. So I'm going to make 2 versions of it. One is going to be in this gorgeous purple color, which I have a hat, an Astoria hat. Yes, in this color as well, which is fun. And then I'm going to make it in these 2 colors. I'm going to make a really tall cowl in these 2 colors. They were from my mom's stash. And then I have a beautiful dark purple from her stash that coordinates, that I'm making another hat out of. So I'm going to take that with me. That's going to be one of my super chill projects. The Senta scarf is pretty chill because that pattern is done too. So I just need to follow the pattern and get it done. Okay, and then this last one I'm really debating, because this is a solely non-business project, and my real debate is that oh gosh, I have several things in here that have nothing to do with this. My real debate is, should I bring this, because it's a lot. So this is my Scrappy Winslow cowl. I can't remember if I shared this or not. So I think I did. So this is my Scrappy Winslow cowl. I've made 0 progress on it since the last time I showed you. I really want this to be a good walk and crochet pattern, which maybe it could be, but also it's just a bunch of mini skeins that I'm using to make it scrappy, and I'm not sure that the hassle of bringing all of these little bits, and I need to keep them separated, is going to be worth it. I don't know. It's a very brainless project as I go, though. To actually work on it isn't hard. And if I was just driving, I think I would definitely take it, because we'd have plenty of space and it'd be easy to work on. I'd probably just take that whole basket. But since I'm flying and driving, I just don't know. Would you tell me what to do? I would appreciate that. I think that's all I'm going to take. And you're probably going, all? And I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm also making a second Marin shawl out of the Sweet Pea and Sparrow yarn, and it's my other class that I'm teaching right now, so I'm crocheting it along with them, which I need to get going, or they're gonna blow ahead of me. So I might take that with me. I might have to take that with me if I'm going to keep up with them, because we'll have one more class after I get back, and I'm going to need to have my version of it ready for the next step. So just, just like 5 or 6 projects. I'm going to be gone for like 5 days. So like a project a day, it's fine, right? Do you pack heavy? Pack heavy. Do you pack extra? Do you overpack when you travel? I 100% do. Always 100% do. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been fun sharing my story here about my road trip and my yarny plans. I appreciate your input on the sample maker stuff and my plans here. Tell me to be more realistic. But it should be a great trip, and thank you for joining me while I'm away. And if you've reached out to me and I have not responded, it's because I'm on the road. So thank you for joining me today, and happy crafting.